All right. Hello, boys, girls, gays, theys, and thems. Welcome to another demo day. So today we have an amazing lineup. We only have 4 projects. Everyone can take their time. We're not too rushed, which is nice. I think 4 is a good number. So we're going to start off with Overtime. Not that I'm biased, but definitely a fave. ChainAPI, Unidex, and then the 0x Small Brain, which I'm very excited for. You all have some cool shit going on. So without further ado, Red from Overtime, are you ready to go? Oh my god, how are you making birds fly? Some premium feature shit I don't have. Damn. Wait, is Red here? Definitely here, but I cannot hear you. I can hear something though, but it's not a voice. How are you guys doing these reactions? Someone tell me in chat. I feel like a boomer. And I'm not a boomer. I feel like an old person. I'm like, where must I click? All right, guys. Red, I think we can circle back to you. So you can get a little bit of time to check out your mic situation. When in doubt, use your built-in mic. Those tend to be less chaotic. The little emoji. Oh my gosh, yes. I will spam those. Okay. Let me not get too distracted by being able to make emojis. Okay. So, yeah, no, still no sound. Oh.
Do you want me to jump in and we can leap back around? Yeah.
You can jump in and we can come back to them. All right, without further ado, ChainAPI, take us away.
All right, so I share my screen, right?
Yeah.
So can people see that, just to start off with?
Yes.
I hope I've not streamed the actual browser.
You are streaming the whole browser, yeah.
Streaming the whole browser, okay, cool.
But just the browser, yeah.
I might need to change that in a second. Yeah, just to start off with, so yeah, I'm Ben. I'm actually the ecosystem lead from API 3. So we're a kind of Oracle solution that operates as a DAO. We just kind of set the context here. Airnode is the Oracle solution that we deploy to APIs to make them requestable or readable by smart contracts. There's many different Oracle solutions that we're building, from requesting social analytics data as single use oracles through to serving price feeds for DeFi and kind of everything in between that, really. So a large part of what we are doing is really simplifying how you actually can connect an API to a smart contract. At the moment, there are quite large barriers to entry for API providers that might want to serve their data on chain. There's, if you're kind of building your own API to get data from niche use cases for your DApp or for your decentralized application, it's unlikely that you're going to want to set up a blockchain validator and operate that. And yeah, we've been building an integrations tool called ChainAPI. It's a sister entity to API 3. That basically has streamlined how you can go through that Oracle deployment process, Oracle integration process, and how you can actually kind of get that data from a REST API on chain. So I just want to caveat this. I'm going to go through the demo of how to do this. I'm not technical myself, but it should be simple enough for somebody like myself to kind of run through this. And what I'm going to do is just very quickly run through a test integration and deployment process in a few minutes. So I might need to change my. Can you see that screen? Is that changed over to the integration screen? Funny, or is that? Do I need?
No, it's still on your Chrome or Chromium, I guess.
So that's all up and working, right?
Yes, I can see it now. Yeah.
So basically, yeah, when you log in, the first thing you'll do is connect your MetaMask, enter your email address. You'll come into a dashboard. In the dashboard, you'll have things like a workspace. You can invite colleagues in if you need to invite people in. You can see all of the deployed oracles that you've got, and yeah, there's more functionality in there, which is just a bit of a hub for people who might be working with multiple APIs. What I'm going to do is run through a very quick integration, preparation for a deployment, but it's staging the integration as such. And I'm going to use a DX feed API as an example for this. So let's make the magic happen. So it's quite hard to type whilst I'm holding A actually, so let's see if it works. So so let's just select price feed here, price reference. Cool. So this is so what we're going to do here is get the base URL from the API documentation. So this is a public test API for DX feed, which provides a large amount of price reference data to current Oracle systems. If you had an API key that you wanted that you needed to kind of use for the integration, this is where you would input it, because this is a public API. We're not going to do that. What we're entering here is basically the endpoint ID, and it's just simple as that. And the parameters, so it's just a single thing, which would just be event ID. Cool. So if you have a reserved parameter, it's basically telling the Airnode deployment to focus in on a specific endpoint, and you would enter the reserved parameters in there to focus on whichever data type you wanted to retrieve. For this example, we're not going to use it, but yeah, just to let you know that functionality is there. Cool. So that's as simple as that. That's basically staged the integration, and now we're going to move on to deploying it. Just to note here, you do need to have Docker installed on your system. So that's the only prerequisite if you're looking to use ChainAPI. And I can explain more. So yeah, just you're selecting the cloud provider here. We suggest just make sure that if you're using AWS or whichever cloud provider, you have access to the default server that you're setting here, default region even. And then here you can select which protocol that you want to deploy the Oracle to. So in this case, we're going to select Optimism, and let's go for the Optimism testnet as well. So let's go Optimism Coven and Optimism Gorelli. Cool. Next. Yeah, so authorizers, we don't need to do anything here, but effectively it again is like a kind of parameter for people to focus in on of who connects to which API. So if you wanted to monetize your API, you would set up authorizers so people can whitelist to your API address. If you're an API provider or you're operating an API that you want to monetize, that's a service that you'd probably want to be built in. So there you go. Cool. So review the configuration, all good here. And what we're going to do here is, so this is the command that you would run in Docker, or just run into the terminal with Docker installed. What you need to do first is effectively download the file. I won't do this live because it'd be a little bit fiddly, but download the file. You need to go to your AWS account and basically look at your access ID keys, download this here, and add it into, there's a secrets ENS file within this zip folder. You add those the kind of keys from AWS into that file, and you can basically run the Docker command and deploy the Oracle to Optimism. That'll in return, what you will have is effectively a smart contract address that you'll be able to access and request. There's then examples of requester contracts that you can use in your smart contracts in the API 3 GitHub repo, and yeah, I hope that kind of all makes sense. Just to add, there's a guide that we've put together for this, which is a lot more comprehensive than my sort of non-technical run through of this. So if you do want to go off and do it, you can follow that, which I'm just going to drop in the chat. Sorry for the URL there saying on Polygon Mumbai. And that's it really. If people have questions, please let me know. And yeah.
Absolute tyranny. A Polygon link?
I know.
No, I'm joking. It's totally chill. It's totally chill. No, so if anyone has any questions, or if this is your first demo day, just drop your questions in the chat. The presenters stick around for a while, so they can definitely answer your questions. Otherwise, we can do more questions at the end. Otherwise, you can always just join their server or bug them on Twitter. That normally works. But definitely, if you have any questions, and now is the time. There's like 2 people typing, so hopefully they're not still talking about whatever first-person shooter we were talking about there. But anyway, it seems not. But yeah, we'll give it a minute for questions to filter in. But Red, in the meantime, are you ready to go?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you so much for coming and presenting.
Yes.
All right, Red, you can't just talk and then leave. You gotta...
Right. As I said, I'm not too good at that talking thing.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
All right, let me just share my screen here and we can get started.
Amazing. Thank you. Nice. I can see Hackanoon.
I had to look him up.
And now overtime. No, you got to do a little check. I respect that. All right.
Yeah.
You ready to take us away?
Yeah, for sure. Let's get going. Well, first of all, thanks, Bonnie, for welcoming us again here. We'll be presenting Overtime today. And Overtime, as you guys can see already, it's a sports market platform where we get all our feed from Chainlink, and the whole automated market maker side of thing has all been developed by Taylor's team, and obviously we're running on Optimism, and that's why we're here today. So without further ado, let me jump in the DApp and show you what it's all about. So last time we were here, we had a different UI, so this all got updated just ahead of the FIFA World Cup, the soccer tournament. So pretty excited to show you what we got going here. Yeah. Sweet. All right. So for people that weren't there last time, I'll re-explain what Overtime is and how it works. As you guys can see, it seems pretty simple. On the left here, we got all our sports and our leagues that are available on Overtime currently. So now I'm in all sport and I'm selected the FIFA World Cup. You can put it as your favorite because it's awesome. So I'll put it as my favorite and now it'll show up at the top here. And how you want to buy a position and how you interact with Overtime, it's very simple. So here we got the games coming up for the tournament. So for today, so in 40 minutes or so, we got Australia versus Denmark. So we can take an example of this game. At the moment, we got the odds here of the game. So Australia, you can buy a position for 16 cents, a draw for 22 cents, and for Denmark for 69 cents. And for example, if you do end up buying Denmark, you buy Denmark at 60. You buy Denmark at 69 cents here. So you want to buy for $1. Sorry, okay, here we go. So here we go. If I want to buy one position, it'll cost me 0.69 cents. So I'll be getting out a payout of $1 if Denmark wins this game. Oh, the odds just got updated, so now it's a bit more expensive. It's actually 72 cents now. So yeah, the odds update, right? on the constant basis with Chainlink updates. And then also, if everyone pours in on Australia, for example, Denmark will get more expensive. If everyone pours in on Denmark, Australia and draw will get cheaper. So as you guys can see, Australia and draw currently the cheapest option with 2% and 3% discount respectively. So I go ahead, put my position here, and then I can just click buy. So I'll buy one position, and you guys will be able to see. I can also change the odds to go in decimal odds if you guys are more familiar with that, or I can go with American odds if you guys are also more familiar with that. So I'll use decimal for this example. So if I put the dollar, I should be getting about $1.38, or minus the fees. Sweet. Here, my push to talk, by the way, is 1, so it makes it a bit awkward. So I can go ahead. I'll be buying $1 worth of a position on Denmark, and as you can see, my payout is going to be $1.39 for a potential profit of 38 cents. So I just click buy here, and beautiful tally ho wallet opens. And then I buy my position. It's that simple, and then that will be reflected on on your profile page once this is confirmed. If we go here on the left, open the profile page. We're just gonna leave some time for this to reload here. But this is also, as you guys can see, where you can claim your position. So I've in the past put a position on France versus Denmark, put a position on France. And then it shows up here, a little notification button that I can claim. So I can just come here and claim my winning. So I think I put $5 on this one. So now I can claim $8.43. And if you guys like it, we got all the transaction history as well here. We got parlays and single game history. So if I go single game, I've put $5 on France and I got a winning of $8.43. So that works pretty well. And now I'll go back to the market page and I'll show you something even cooler. So before our latest demo, all we could do is really take a single position, right? Single position money line on who you think was going to win. The little update now, you can build a 4-game parlay. So a parlay, what does it mean? It means that you're building your position all together, and it means that if you build a parlay with 4 games, all 4 games needs to be correct for you to collect your winnings. But what it also does is multiply your quote. So for example, I take Denmark here and then I take France here. Those 2 quotes get multiplied, and then I get an even higher quote. So I can do that to up to 4 games. So then let's say I take Mexico here, and then I take Poland. Oh yeah, maximum quote we support is 20x, so 20 times. So sometime if you have a high quote like Poland here, well, it'll max out. So you might want to adjust that. So for example, here I get a quote of 5. If I get a draw here, 15.5. So I guess Poland must not be too far from 20. So I can go ahead and put a 4-game parlay here, and then what I do again, it's $10 minimum for parlays tickets. I can put $10 in, and then you guys will see, right? So as I said, every single game needs to win, but obviously your payout is much bigger as the quotes gets multiplied. So if I put $10, my payout right now is $188 with a potential profit of $178. So I'll go ahead and buy this position. Sweet, and that works pretty well again. And then if you guys, you like the FIFA World Cup, but you don't want to just build parlays based on that. You can always just match some sports together, right? So I'm a big hockey fan, so I can come here and take the Toronto Maple Leaf and maybe the Oilers as well. And you guys can see again the quotes gets multiplied, and then we can match sports. So right now I got Australia, Denmark, Toronto, and the Oilers selected. And I can also always buy my position with a different stable if I don't have SUSD, which is the stable of choice we have on the platform. You can use DAI, USDC, USDT. What happens when you buy through those is we route you to the curve pool, which will transfer your DAI, for example, in SUSD in the same transaction that you're buying. So when you're going to be claiming, you're going to be claiming SUSD. If you don't like your SUSD, you can also swap it on Velodrome, for example, or 1inch or Uniswap. Now we're going to show you the campaign that's going on. I think it's really worth showing. Everyone worked pretty hard on it, and it's been pretty successful since we started. So this campaign is the FIFA World Cup campaign, which we're really happy about. We got 50,000 OP token going on for that campaign right now with 30,000 tailies. We're doing that with the grant that we received a couple month or so ago. So that's really enabled us to really grow this campaign as big as we wanted it to be, and has been pretty successful. So let's just have a quick look at it. So here's the leaderboard of the World Cup campaign. So to participate in these rewards, so in the 50,000 OP and 30,000 tailies, you absolutely need to mint your Zebro NFT. Now to mint your Zebro NFT, you can head to the mint page. So I already have mine, so you cannot really see that process. But if you go on a different wallet, it'll show different information. I honestly minted all of them on there with the amount of demo I've shown. I think that's my parlay. I'll just recheck. I don't know what it is. And then you can mint your Zebro. There's two ways to mint your Zebro. They'll be showed up here when you have a new wallet. But the first way is to stake 10 tailies on our DApp on single side staking. So you can go on tailiesmarket.io and you can stake 10 tailies over there, and then your address will automatically be whitelisted to mint your Zebro. Now you'll be able to mint a Zebro for each of the 32 countries that participated in the World Cup tournament. And the other way you can get whitelisted is by doing the social steps around Twitter. It'll be explained here if you have a new wallet. And then if you go back to the leaderboard here, so what does that Zebro really does? Well, first it gives you access to the incentive program, which is really cool. And then secondly, the home country NFT. So if you mint, for example, France in the France versus Australia game that's coming up, if you put a position on that game, you'll get an extra 10% reward boost. So basically we'll calculate, let's say you put $10, we'll calculate your position as $11 rather than $10. So basically increasing your boost like that. You can also boost your volume in two other ways. So with the parlay boost, so you get a 10% boost if you get a 2-game parlay, 15 with a 3-game, and 20 with a 4-game parlay. And finally, we got the underdog multiplier. So basically, if your World Cup position is priced under $0.3, so 30 cents, you'll get another 10% boost. So all of that for a maximum boost of 40%. And then if we look in the leaderboard here, we can see some people have been taking advantage of the boost more than some others. And yeah, that puts them ahead in their leaderboard just like that. So that means more rewards for them. So that's pretty exciting. And then another thing with rewards, we're paying back your fees right now up to 90%. Of the fees you paid. So you pay a 3% fee at the moment in SUSD. We reimburse you that in 90% of it with our OP grant and tailies as well. So yeah, that's there's a bit more for you guys to explore. We're closing in on 15 minutes here. We also got vaults where you can deposit your money, and then basically these will trade based on this strategy. It's pretty cool. It's still in beta. It's still starting. There's definitely some risk involved here, but it's a pretty cool feature that we're going to be developing over the next year or so. And then, yeah, you guys can explore your profile. You can create a reference link as well. And then we got a little sports trivia going as well. And for the parlays, so that's alpha. It hasn't even been announced. It'll be announced today. But we'll have, for the month of December, we'll basically have 10,000 OP available for the best parlays of the month. So for the month of December, we'll have 10,000 OP for the people that does the best parlays. So the top 20 will get OP distributed. You guys will all see that coming out very soon. But yeah, the best parlay means that you have the highest quote. So if you manage to win a parlay with a quote of 19x, for example, that puts you on the top of the leaderboard, and we tie breaks it with your volume. So really, that's something where everyone can win with just $10. You don't need to have thousands of dollars to farm the rewards here. So it's really a big advantage for people like me who doesn't have tons of $1,000 to throw at this, like these degens here. Really supportive of these guys. So we're pretty excited. Stay tuned for the announcement. We got some big rewards coming. And thanks again to Optimism for welcoming Overtime again on Demo Day. If there's any question, I'll be there.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. It's always a pleasure to have you guys. You guys are so much fun, and I love you guys come back once every few demo days and get to see the progress. It's like really amazing to watch. Definitely a fan favorite. T's and C's apply. Do your own research and all that stuff. Oh god, I haven't done that yet. Anyway, if anyone has any questions, please drop them in the chat. The presenters do stick around for a little bit, so if you have questions afterwards, you can also drop them then. But now is a better time to drop them. Okay, cool. So next up we have Unidex. Are you guys ready to go? I will take that as a no. Are they here? No. Okay, cool. So onto the next presenters, I guess. If they come, they can go at the end. So without further ado, a new presenter, first-time presenter. Super excited to have you here. The 0x Small Brain Crew dash Usilis. I'm dyslexic, and there are way too many vowels in that name, but like, very excited to have you nonetheless.
Okay, I'm stupid. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
I was like totally like thanking you, and then I realized it was fully muted. So thank you for inviting me to this.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, super excited to be here. I will screen. We're just gonna share my whole screen because I live life on the edge like that. Anyways, can you see?
Give it a second to load. Just also maybe turn off notifications because that's always a fun one. It says you closed your stream.
Sorry.
Oh. Okay, it's working now.
It's working.
It just broke on my side. Yep, you're all good.
Is there any way I can turn? Okay, this is fine. Is there any way I can turn push to talk off?
No.
All right, great. We'll roll with it. This is Small Brain Games, and I prepared a little bit of a presentation, which I don't know if it is the vibe, but we'll get to the demo soon, just so you all know what we're about a little bit. I spent time in the past year building on-chain games, and I think came to the realization that I don't know if there is a healthy Web3 gaming go-to-market yet. I think there's a lot of great work being done in a group of areas, namely one, which is autonomous worlds. These are projects like Dark Forest. Two, which are like NFT collectibles. These are the people who say, games will be revolutionized because different items in games will be NFTs, and this will lead to a whole new economic market. And the third kind of area of things are like play to earn games. Like these are the people who say things like the game will only be fun in the future if it also makes you money. And I think all of these are interesting theses, and people are doing really, really great work and are really, really well funded in these areas. But I feel like there is more, and I feel like we still are early. So the purpose of Small Brain Games is to be a non-for-profit studio that is just iterating really quickly to find new types of games that have interesting affordances and can only exist on chain, and hopefully find a new healthy Web3 go-to-market in the process. And the first thesis we tested is our zero expected value risk reward games fund, These are things where everybody will not make money. Some people will put money in and some people will get money out, and you're making small transactions with low amounts of money to test if you can do something a little risky to grab a little bit of reward. And the blockchain is a great product fit for this, right? Just because payments are so easy, you can do programmable pricing and payments. It makes sense why it's on chain, and it's a new type of thesis. And the game we built to test this thesis was called Words3. I'll tell you a little bit about Words3 before we look at a demo. Words3 is a fully on-chain player versus player word game. All you do is there's an infinite grid and you place letters on this grid to spell words. And you can place any letters you want, but the catch is each letter has a changing price. And the price of each letter changes by the demand for that letter at that time. You can make ETH by scoring points by making words, and when others play on your letters. That's it. The core tension of this game is there's a board with constantly changing prices for letters and constantly changing words, and you're trying to find clever places to place words on the board to make you some money. The game actually ended 2 days ago and started running last Tuesday. It ran for 6 days long, but this is the board that people created. And you can see right here, the price is changing for each letter. C is very, very expensive because it's 10 points. You can sort the price actually. And you can see like vowels ended up being pretty expensive again because they're useful. Q is up here because it has a large point value. And you can kind of see that people played words on each other. This is the board. This is live at words3.xyz, so people are playing live on Optimism for the past week, so feel free to go to that website and scroll around yourself. But diving into the mechanic a little bit more is the price of each letter is determined by this mechanic called a VRGDA. This is a variable rate gradual Dutch auction. Pretty much like all you need to think about for this is the more people play each letter, there's a certain rate the letter should be played at, like 20 letters a day is what it was set at. If letters are being played above that rate, the price rises exponentially. And if letters are being played below that rate, the price of that letter falls logistically. So that's how the letter pricing works. And exactly how the word rewards work are when you play a word on top of another word. For example, this person played discography on top of liquidity. The price of discography, 75% of it goes to the treasury, which is split by percentage of points. The other 25% of it goes to the player of the word liquidity in word rewards. And your total profit is your prize plus your word rewards minus the total amount you spent. And that is the game. So this game was, I said, launched last week, and these are kind of what happened. Ran for 6 days. We just tweeted it out with kind of no following, so it all was just fully organic traction. 100 players played. They played 1,200 words, and around $7,000 in volume went through the game. And all of this volume was put in by players and paid out to other players. Like no creator fees. The only fee was gas. And so like this is a bunch of people engaging in a zero expected value game on the blockchain, like a new type of game. Also, and here's I just love looking at this. Like here's the board at the end. You know, it's like a work of art. It's great. Like this is a board that people created by playing on each other in this game. It's the whole thing. It's also on Twitter, so feel free to jump in there and zoom in, and it's kind of cool to look at. Also, I'd love to focus on some feedback from the community and like the Optimism community, exactly, because it was wonderful building on Optimism. It's a game pretty much uniquely enabled by Optimism, right? Like this game could not have been done on mainnet, just gas fees would be too high. And a ton of people bridged to Optimism just to play this game, which made me really happy. Like this person says their mom wants to bridge to Optimism for the next round. This person, is like, I got Optimism for the first time to play this. And actually this last one might initially sound like a roast, but I actually think it's good, which is also, I'm not sure you know this, but it feels really slow. It makes a ton of requests for ChainAPI playing on Airplane. To be fair, we did run into a lot of front-end issues while we ran this game, and we're fixing them. But what I want to focus on about this message I got was this person was playing this game on an airplane. My question to you all is like, out of all the on-chain games what is an on-chain game that somebody just pulls out and casually plays on an airplane? Especially an on-chain game that isn't promising like infinite upward rewards. And that's something that is really, really exciting to us. Is like this group of people played this massive game, which needed and could only be on chain, that was actually fun. And people were playing on airplanes. People were getting their moms to play. Like this is what Small Brain Games is chasing. The next game we're working on, because we're shipping games every 2 weeks. Actually, I'll tell you a little bit about where this is going in the future before I jump into that. Where this is going in the future is Words3 will return. It will run again with a bunch of fixes. One, a bunch of bug fixes on the front end so the game runs cleanly. Two, easier funding for people's wallets so they can play a word without having to bridge to Optimism. And then if they want to keep playing, they can bridge. Three, randomly generated using Perlin noise tiles on the grid that are point multipliers. And that's going to be the game. And if a mobile client can be pulled off, that will be there too. But we're continue working on Words 3, part 2, maybe Words 4. We'll see what we call it as well. Finally, I wanted to give you all a little bit of a hint of the next game, because we're trying to ship games every 2 weeks. So the playtest for this game will be out every 2 weeks. Instead of, is it a zero expected value risk reward game that's played on chain? The question is it a simple autonomous world? And I'm not going to tell you exactly what the game is. You need to wait for that. But I will leave you with this little image. Jump on the Twitter and feel free to jump in the Discord, or don't, do whatever you want. But we're there, we're building, and we're being vocal about it. So come hang out. Would love to hear all of your thoughts. Also, if anybody played who's in this room, would love to hear about your experience. But thank you. That's Small Brain Games.
Oh my god, you cannot drop a pawn like that. Do you know how hard crypto people froth for chess? That's not even funny. Like, you're about to make some enemies if you guys don't drop chess next.
I'm so excited. It's the next game's gonna go off.
Yeah, I'm super excited. You guys came on to us. Oh, it's so lovely to hear. Like, yeah, those low gas fees really do be doing the most. And 4844 is around the corner, y'all. Around the corner. Oh, so exciting. I could cry. Anyway, okay, hold on. Our last presenter if anyone has questions, now's the time to drop them in chat. But we actually did skip a presenter, so I just want to make sure if they are here that they have an opportunity to present. So I'm going to tag them one more time. I actually don't see them in the chat though. So seems like a no. All right. Yeah, all of the presenters absolutely owned it today. Y'all did amazing. Super excited to have all of you here. Welcome to the optimistic side of life. As per usual, I know I'm only doing this at the end, which is terrible, but it's fine. T's and C's apply. Like, this platform is provided for all of the amazing dApps within the space to have a space to demo their stuff. It is not an endorsement by Optimism. Do your own research, and like, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Yeah, other than that, I really liked all of the dApps today. I think all of them were relatively legit, but again, do your research. So any last minute questions? Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap up today. This was really amazing, y'all. You do the absolute most. I'm going to see if I can get that music bot working again so we can have some outro music, real classy like. Can't believe I said that. Anyway, any last questions? Now is your time. Give you 30 seconds until I start blasting the tracks or tunes. Every country's got different slang for music, but anyway. Yeah, thanks again for everyone who came. It's always so much fun to have an active chat, even if it is about CSGO or whatever we were talking about. All right, I think that should stop playing the music.